Be sure to subscribe for more content.
What is up, ladies and gents? Welcome to the BigBC Finance Channel, and I hope you're having a very lovely day today. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about Luna 2.0, what has happened to it recently, and where we predict the price to go to in the near future, as well as a longer term pattern that I'm seeing here on Luna 2.0, which is pretty exciting if you're bullish on Luna 2.0, if you're a holder. So be sure to stay tuned for all of that. And of course, if you appreciate the daily analysis on this channel and you're one of the 88% of people that watch my videos that are not yet subscribed, be sure to hit the subscribe button if you enjoy this content. So without further ado, let's talk about Luna 2.0 and what has happened here on the charts. And we're going to start off with the shorter term stuff, and we'll talk about that longer term price pattern afterwards. But shorter term stuff, basically, as you know, we have come down here on Luna 2.0. This was the FTX crash that shot the price down to this kind of level $1.50 here on Luna 2.0, and we've just really been ranging in such a small range. In fact, what we can actually do is draw some sort of resistance that looks like this. So this is like a line where the price has come up to on multiple occasions but has bounced off every single time. So as you can see, we see the price touch this orange line on several different occasions, starting with this peak there. We've got one peak here, and there's several peaks in this region as well. So, you know, 4, 5, 6 tests of this orange line makes it a fairly reliable resistance here. So we can kind of count on it. At the very same time, we can draw the same for a support. So where the price touches the bottom, something that looks like this. And exactly the same premise here, the price touches the support line on multiple occasions. It has been doing that now over the past nearly 2 weeks here on Luna 2.0. And basically what should happen in the near future is that the price of Luna 2.0 has to make its mind up about which way it's going to go. As you can see, the resistance and the support intersect each other. So, you know, at some point Luna 2.0 has to decide if it's going to go up or down. And that is if it respects this triangle. Of course, these chart patterns aren't always perfect, so there's a possibility we could just see the price not doing anything and just do something like this, for example. But if this triangle is respected, then we should see a breakout to the upside and the downside, or the downside. And if we do see a breakout on either direction, the price target is always the first test of the support, this bottom line down here, and the first test of the resistance, this upper line. And what we should see is a price breakout if we do break out to the upper side of this kind of magnitude. So we should see the price head towards $2.20 here on Luna 2.0 if the price is able to break out to the upside on this triangle. And $2.20 is actually a very nice level here on Luna 2.0 because this was a historical resistance here. So if I draw a line where the price target should be, and I just zoom out a little bit, you can actually see the price come to touch this level on multiple occasions at $2.20. So basically here we have one test. We have basically a test in this region as well. And if we go back in time, again, we have one major region in this here as well as so many times prior to that as well. I couldn't circle them all because there's so many times, but basically it's reassuring to see a price target hit historical resistance and support here on Luna 2.0. So if we do break out of this triangle, that should add conviction to the fact that we could hit this price target at $2.18, $2.19. So that's something I'm looking out for. Of course, if we do break out to the upside, then we should see the price do something like this. It doesn't have to be one straight line there. It could take days to reach the price target, but at the very same time, we could see a short squeeze style pump there in a very straight line. So we could also definitely see that. I'm not ruling that out by any means. For example, we have seen that previously on Luna 2.0, so it could very well be done. But guess what I'm saying is, if it doesn't do that, then it doesn't mean it has failed. It just means it might take a little bit more time to get to that price target. And at the same time, if we do break below the triangle, either direction is possible. So instead of the support being respected, the resistance is respected, then prices will head down to this $1.08 level. Now, that is extremely bearish, and I don't think going down to $1.08 will happen anytime soon. And this goes on to my next point here on Luna 2.0, because what I've noticed over the longer term, so normally on this channel we talk about shorter term stuff, but now I'm going to show you the longer term trends here on Luna 2.0, because what I found is really exciting, particularly for longer term holders. And basically, if I just get rid of some of this noise here. So now we're on the day chart. You guys can see that from around June, so we're going to ignore everything before June because, you know, that was still before the lunar crash. But after the lunar crash, basically from June onwards, you guys can see that, you know, we have a red line now. This is the price exactly where it is at the moment, $1.62. And we're actually fairly close to the bottom of the price Luna 2.0 has ever come to. In fact, if we draw a horizontal line exactly where the lowest of the low has been. So that's around $1.48 we can see. And the most interesting thing, the most bullish thing about this line at $1.48 is that every time the prices come to touch this $1.48 level, look what happens. So let's take the first example here as our example. If we just zoom into this area a little bit, get that price data up. If we had longs from $1.48, if when the price touches it and held to the next local high here, that's a 78% trade. So literally, if we just had, some sort of automatic buy order as soon as the price came down to $1.48 on Luna Classic and just sold anywhere in this region up here, we'd be up literally 70% on our trade on Luna 2.0. And that isn't the only case we see that. Of course, we can look at other regions where prices basically come down to touch this. So let's take August as another example. So let's take this August example. So again, we can see the price not quite $1.48, $1.50-ish in this region. Again, if we traded from $1.50 up to its local high before coming back down, that's a nice 22% there. Again, if we take this region, not quite $1.48, but not far off, and just traded this to its local high. So let's just say this is the local high up here, then that is 412%. So I think you guys get the picture. Basically, every time the prices come down to $1.48 on Luna 2.0, most recently in this region as well, we can even measure how far we've come up since touching $1.48. Look at what happened here when we saw the FTX crash. Basically, we did touch $1.48, as you can see, and price shot up 32% basically after touching that $1.48 mark. Let me get rid of the volume there. You can see that literally happen in real time. The price literally goes down, and in the very same hour manages to shoot back up a good 20-30% on Luna 2.0, and it happens again in this region here as well. So a day later we come down to this $1.48 region, and at its local high we get a 34% pump. So what I'm saying is, if we see the price shoot down to this level, maybe give or take a few percentage points, so maybe $1.49 or even $1.50, if we see the prices shoot down there, with momentum that looks like this, for example, then what would be wise to do is to get our limit buy order and set it for when it touches close or at this $1.48 mark. And of course, if history were to repeat itself, we should see some price action that should look like this, for example. So if we do actually break below that triangle, then it would be wise for us to set a limit buy order at or close to this $1.48 mark. So, if, for example, if we break down below this triangle, we start heading down with a lot of momentum like this, then if history were to repeat itself, then we should see the prices bounce up quite quickly. And we don't know how big that trade is going to be, but, in every example I've shown you, it's been at least 20%. So definitely a nice opportunity there, of course. In addition to that, if we do look at history as well and look at what happens when Luna 2.0 touches this region, we've always seen, and of course, if we go back in time to take our examples, so in this region, for example, we can see that Luna 2.0 does that multiple times. So there's multiple opportunities throughout its path. So just in the 3 months alone between June and August, we've seen this happen at least 2-3 times where the prices come down to this level and bounced off it. In November alone, we've seen that happen twice here. So we could very well see that again. And so this isn't just a one-off opportunity. It seems like the price is held up by this $1.48 line. The price in its past just seems to kind of trade around this region between $1.50 coming up to $2 and just really bound within this region like this. And of course, the exception was this massive pump that we had here that took Luna 2.0 from $1.92 all the way to $7.60. So really, if history is going to repeat itself, then most of the time the price of Luna 2.0 is going to be bound between $1.48 and around $2, coming up to maybe $2.20-ish. But the opportunity comes when the price comes down to the $1.48 region. Of course, if it does go below, if we do see prices continuing to fall below it, and I don't mean just a tiny bit and then coming straight back up. What I mean is if the price has momentum and is going below this $1.48 and the candles are closing out below this purple line, then this is invalidated. This whole plan is completely invalidated, and that is very bearish for Luna 2.0. But just looking at its whole history since June, it has not done that. So it could very well do that in the future, but given its track record, as you can see here, it's always bounced off this $1.48 mark to varying degrees, and the resulting pumps have always been pretty good. So this is my strategy for Luna 2.0 at the moment. This is a longer term strategy as well. And I'm always looking out for additional chart patterns that could tell us that the prices could be heading higher as well. And on top of that, I'm always on the lookout for extra chart patterns here on Luna 2.0 that could tell us in which direction the price is going to go. So if I do make any trades here on Luna 2.0, I will be sure to put it on my trading view. So be sure to follow me on there. The link is in the description below. But as a quick summary, basically I'm looking at what this triangle does. We're very close to being at the end of this triangle. So Luna 2.0 should make its mind probably at the latest over the next day. But we should see a breakout or a breakdown if it is respected. If we do see a breakdown, then expect the prices to head down to this $1.48 level quite quickly. And if we get down there, I will be placing a buy order because historically we've always come up from this $1.48 mark. And we've seen some nice pumps come from that. So just most recently, we saw the price jet up around 30 to 35% from this $1.48 mark. So it's a good area to place a buy order. And that's exactly what I will be doing. Of course, I will set a stop loss as well just below, because if we break just below that $1.48 mark, then that is extremely bearish for Luna 2.0. So that's my longer term prediction. Of course, I'm always on the lookout for other and so that's all I really have to say in this video. Thank you so much for watching. Do let me know. Be sure to hit the like button if you did like this content and subscribe for more. Otherwise, I'll see you in my next video.